Streamer Zone, I believe it's called. They actually got Reina's little brother on the team as well. Baby Marine joined it today. Jumi joined a little while ago. That's exciting. The first time ever that we get to see ForJumy represent the Streamer Zone.
Let's get it on.
Round 1, fight!
In the bottom right side, the man who a little while ago defeated Battlebee in the Big Brain Bouts, which I thought was a very impressive victory, and especially that game on Side Delta lives rent-free in my head. He pulled a couple of probes to the other side of the map and he killed 4 SCVs. He made it look easy. Hailing from Deutschland, representing the Streamer Zone, this is ForJumy. And he's going up against this man who slid into those RotterdaMs on Saturday or Friday, whatever day it was, and said, hey, isn't it time for me to play in the Big Brain Bouts? Then he played in the Kalara, Steadfast and Roddy Open on the Monday night. We saw him against Harstem, and we said, if he does well here, we'll invite him. Well, he didn't just do well, he 2-0'd Harstem. Mega impressive, hailing from Russia, Platinum Heroes in Nicoract. I think a very, very difficult one to predict, guys. I'm actually kind of clueless. On one hand, I'm like, Jumi is so good, Jumi is solid, but Nicoract is really good against Protoss. I think overall, if you combine all the matchups, the mirrors, etc., I rate Jumi a tiny bit higher, but I really do rate Nicoract as TVP. So I think this is going to be an exciting best of 5. We have an eBay block, and Jumi has built a Zealot, but he saw this rather late. So he's actually just going to pull a lot of probes. I'd not be mega happy with this start if I was a Protoss. These probes are meant to be in my main, mining minerals, mining gas. They're not meant to be attacking an eBay, but it's okay. There's something that Jumi can obviously recover from. And at least he will be able to expand where he's supposed to expand. I have gone to the school of I just expand elsewhere, I don't really care. Now of course if you do that, it does make it difficult in that early mid game to keep probes safe in your main and the third at the same time. And then just build a few batteries. And I hope that static D is good enough. The Zealot and an Adept. Jumi has not revealed us yet what tech he wants to go for. He is a bit of a Stargate and a Twilight boy. Robo would really shock me here. That's the one thing that I don't see Jumi do very often. A second gate obviously wouldn't make any sense. So it's pretty much always Twilight or Stargate. And this time it is a Stargate. Nicoract is building a whole bunch of Hellions. So with or without that Nexus being elsewhere, Nicoract is just gonna go for it. Can Jumi wall off here? Obviously a Reaper Grenade can always bounce Protoss units away. Interesting opening here by Nicoract, guys. It is a couple of Hellions and a Reaper immediately. Very, very quick. And the follow-up is 2 more Rexes. So Nicoract is going to be a very aggressive boy here in game 1 of our third series of the night. Winner gets $100, the loser still gets 25. Can Jumi keep these Hellions and the Reaper out? He's trying, he drops the grenade. Nope, he's going to get in there. And this is where it honestly becomes a little bit hard. Probes are here, but they're not going to get the pilots up in time. Minus 14 workers. That is my prediction. And most of the time, my predictions are pretty good. It is 12. I still go with 14. I'm built different. Don't make it 15. No! This was supposed to be my moment. Why you gotta do me like that, Nicoract? Why do you gotta do me like that? That's obviously a very, very painful start for our man ForJumy. That is a few more than you ideally like to lose. He's going to activate Pulsar Beam. He wants to battle the Cyclone, but that's not a fight that the Oracle is going to win. The Oracle will live. Ay caramba. Well, that's a horrible start. This is no other way for me to put it. This is a straight up horrible start for ForJumy. And Nicoract is a proper no-nonsense Terran either. Where sometimes if we watch the first bout of the night and we look at guys that are 4,500 MMR, 5,000 MMR, it doesn't really matter. What we will talk about is that there's obviously room for comebacks because these guys are not pros. They're not that deadly. They don't know how to immediately end games. Nicoract knows a thing or two about ending games. And I'd be lying if I tell you guys that I think ForJumy has a chance here. I think this is simply too much damage. It's just the way that high-level Starcraft 2 works. ForJumy is going to try. He has built his robo and he's going for a very quick robo bay. He's now going to try to buy some time with a stasis trappy. Nicoract sees it immediately with his marine. As he's built like that. I think ForJumy is kind of toasted. Yeah, it's a dream start for the Russian Terran. Might wait until he has a few medevacs. I don't think it changes that much. You can make an argument for a disruptive first here over a Colossus, saying that like you're just too far behind to even play Colossus, that maybe you go for a disruptor and you pray that you get a sick purification nova and you blow up half the army. Force field here is nice. Nicoract throws down a scan, sees his army on the high ground. His army is gonna still walk into one stasis drop. It's not the biggest, but it's still pretty decent. May scare him a little. Such a good Terran army though. Stim done, combat shield done. Nicoract throws down a scan. Wonders A where the army is and B if there is a third base. The Marines are gonna stim forward. Colossus is not quite out yet. The tanks are gonna siege up in range of the shield battery. And without that battery we are just kinda toasted. There is a backup pylon here, so that's nice for ForJumy. I do think ForJumy is gonna get his first Colossus out. The problem is that there will still be tanks that are sieged up, and how on earth is ForJumy gonna get on top of these tanks? That Immortal is not going to kill 2 tanks. Immortals are great, but they are not that good. They'll do a lot of damage to 1. That is it. Nicoract is way too good to let us start like that slide. 1-0 lead. Impressive. Chileno Singaporean, thank you so much, matey, for the 24 months. I appreciate it. Roddy P, Roddy P. I'm a big fan of the Roddy B, personally. 1-0 lead for our aggressive, I would almost say TVP expert in Nicoract. Well, I think a lot of Starcraft left to be played. Obviously, not every single game. ForJumy is going to end up losing 15 workers. Did he just say that he's a fan of the Roddy D? No, the B. Johan. I don't think Roddy D is a thing. Roddy P works. Roddy B. Roddy T. Roddy PS. Roddy PG. Roddy D is not an emote. Great contribution, guys. Appreciate it. Makes me happy. Hello, bully. Did you practice a little bit with Alex, or did you go over certain things? Since I feel that you are a man that has probably had a lot of ways to potentially help him a little bit to get ready for that best of 5. Since I know you guys are deadlock amigos.
Round 2, fight!
Bottom left side of Amphion. We are looking at the main base of our Russian Terran, taking a convincing 1-0 lead. Platinum Heroes and Nicoract. The man who 2-0'd Hearthstone last Monday. A very, very impressive win. In Starcraft, it is so incredibly difficult, I think, to punch above your weight and to make that final step. Once you're good, it's awesome. You can get a little bit better, but closing the gap to those very best players in Europe is so hard. I kind of feel like he's starting to do it. And if there is another full year of StarCraft 2 with all big online events, offline events, perhaps we get to see a little more of him at the highest level. I think that'd be awesome. Top left side, we are looking at the main base of a kid who has been there. He's qualified for those WCSs. He's gone to some of the offline events. It is a streamer zone ForJumy, aka ForJumy. What is the 08 at the end of your name? Well, the thing is that RotterdaM was already taken everywhere. On Battle.net in the Warcraft 3 days, where Battle.net in Warcraft 3 had a great function that did not allow duplicate names. So, obviously RotterdaM was already taken, so I had to go with something else. I went with RotterdaM 1908. Eventually I removed the 19. And just went 08. And same goes for social media, obviously it was already taken everywhere. Can't quite claim twitter.com/RotterdaM or facebook.com/RotterdaM. It's a little difficult. So. 08 because I'm born on the 8th of May. 8 is my favorite number. And Feyenoord, my favorite football team, got founded in 1908. We don't talk about what happened in 01 to 07. I don't know what happened in Rotterdam from 01 to 07. All I know is that we didn't have Feyenoord yet. So. I'm sure it was a beautiful city, mate. A lot of that is no longer here. And has something to do with a different period in the history of our city. But in 1908, they found Feyenoord. A football team far greater and far more accomplished than that tiny team out of Birmingham called Aston Villa. So I graduated high school in 2008. No, I didn't. I would have been very old, mate. I would have been 22. Something would have gone wrong with me if I graduated high school when I was 22. Now, I'm not saying that I was the sharpest tool in the shed, but not quite 2008 high school. I was born in Rotterdam. I was born in Sophia Kinderziekenhuis, which is actually less than 200 meters from the Feyenoord football stadium. Right next to the stadium there's a hospital, and in that hospital I was born. Are you saying nothing went wrong with you? A lot of things went wrong, bully. The fact that I'm here probably is proof to the pudding for that one, but alright, so we got a Stargate opening here for a Jumy in game 2. We got 7 Marines and a Cyclone moving out. We've seen this situation quite a few times on Amphion, and I think a mistake that a lot of Protoss players make is that they send their Phoenixes to the other side, they try to lift an SCV. It's not about that. It's about protecting this battery. And you protect this battery by defending in front of it, and obviously having your Phoenixes nearby to lift the Marine, to lift the Cyclone, whatever you want, to put pressure on the medevac perhaps. All of that is fine. Just do not send these Phoenixes to the Terran main to kill an SCV. That is silly. We need to keep this battery alive. With 4 Adepts and a Stalker, we can obviously buy some time, but we cannot go too far back. The Phoenixes need to turn around, and Jumy is going to do that. I kind of like this start for Jumy. Maybe not the prettiest move with the Phoenix, but it's all good. He is going to get a second Stalker. Stalkers obviously deal way more damage to Cyclones and Medevacs than Adepts do. Medevacs go without saying, but against the Cyclones it does really make the difference. It's very nice to have a few Adepts though, because the Adepts are great against the Marines. 3 Adepts obviously is the magical number to kill a Marine immediately. And this is looking pretty damn good for the man who's trailing 0-1 as he goes far forward. Does lose one of the Phoenixes, but he does not want to see these units escape. Where is that Liberator though, guys? That Liberator is hiding in the shadows, waiting for his moment. Unfortunately, if we lost the Phoenix, we have slightly less DPS. It takes a little while, but the Jumy wasn't born last night. He feels that something is missing. That second unit out of the starport. Where is it? What is it? Turns out it's a Liberator. He gets on top of it immediately. And at this point, we've got enough gateway units to take this fight. Nicoract has rallied a tank even to the other side of the map. Aggressive gameplay coming out of the Russian Terran, but I think he's in trouble now. Don't forget that Medevac is low on HP. Jumy collapses on this army, gets the Cyclones, gets the tank, and he shows us that this is not his first rodeo. He's played against this stuff before, and I'm sure that he has made the mistakes that all the other Protoss players have made on this stream, off this stream. Not today. A night and day difference compared to that first game. Nicoract is in a lot of trouble. I don't know. If this tank falls, he's basically dead. If you can keep this tank alive, he's still got a shot. Phoenix is going to go for it. Nicoract knows how important that tank is, so he pulls the SCVs immediately and he mass repairs it. That is a great move. And that will allow him to live to fight another day. Does not change the fact that it's a mega start for Jumy. And now Jumy can actually show us what he's made of. He's going to be able to get Colossus out without being dead. He can start getting some extra gateways, maybe get a couple of those Twilight upgrades eventually. He also gets on top of the starport, snipes the Viking. And now obviously it's fine for these Phoenixes to look for a little bit of economic damage. Gets close to that second Viking. Doesn't quite get it, but still a good attempt. Chumi is a little stubborn here. Really wants that Viking. Actually ends up losing a Phoenix in return. There was a missile turret in the main, but no missile turret in the natural, which allows these Phoenixes just to roam freely and find at least a few SCVs for their efforts. Don't want to throw away too many of our Phoenix, but losing one there is acceptable with the amount of great work that they have done. And Nicoract is getting a pretty quick second starport. Gives me the feeling that he just probably wants to send it. Try to get a lot of Vikings early and get a big bio army on the ground. Hope that the Vikings can melt the Colossus and then your Marines and Marauders can save the day. It's going to be very, very difficult, and it's also a little bit unlikely that Jumi is not going to pick up on this. Something that would be great here for Jumi, and I'm not saying that because I now see it, is quick Archons. Because if a Terran gets a very quick second starport, more often than not they won't get a quick Ghost Academy because they can't afford all of that. They cannot afford Ghost and mass Vikings of a tiny 3-base economy. It's not even like 70 workers. We're looking at 59. So Archons are pretty sick here because no Ghost means that Archons will actually live and will actually have an impact for once. Really good decision making by Jumi. He queued up a Disruptor there for a little bit. Actually, the Disruptor is out. He's also getting High Templars with Storm. I don't hate Storm. Storm is obviously perfectly fine as well. But I also think a couple Archons would be great. And Nicoract maybe not going for the original plan because that has already been scouted, has been revealed. He's going to try playing this out in a different way. We've got a little drop action, but he's got no defense. He's sending out all of his units to the other side of the map. So these Zealots can cause a world of pain here. One tank is obviously not enough. Now, Jumi doesn't know that there are no bio units nearby. I think he could have done a little bit more here, but he still gets the tank. Here's a double drop in the top right side. Is casually sniping a Nexus. It's actually pretty good. And where are those Phoenixes now? Having a little bit of an identity crisis. Maybe they were worried about a drop in the main. That's not it. So this actually kind of worked out well for Nicoract. Snipes the 4th. Gets out of there with the double drop. Only loses the tank and 2-3 SCVs, whatever it was, against the Zealot run by. A strong minute there for Nicoract. Getting way more done than I think he was supposed to get done. RotterdaM is playing a Warcraft 3 show match right now. Who is he playing? Do I know who he's playing? Is this the one that they've been building up towards all these weeks? Grobby and RotterdaM? See if I know. I know a couple of the guys that are like okay-ish in Warcraft. Playing some 2.2k MMR human named Tekko. And the other guy says 2150. Who the hell is Tekko? Where is he from? Is he German? Should play Take. Actually, it would be a fun match. Huh? Is this the ladder hero? Not notable. Alright. Well, let me know how it goes, guys. I hope it goes well for the captain. Disruptors are ready to fire from far away as the observer gave Jumi the heads up that this is where the ground army of Nicoract is. Nicoract does have a pretty sick army now. Well, we are going to fight near a battery. There's Nova connects with a couple of the Marauders. Jumi does not move his Phoenix is back. Loses all of them. I mean, maybe the day and age of the Phoenix has gone a little, but I still think it's nice to keep a couple of them around. At least one. So they cannot idle behind your main. Marines and Ghosts will get on top of this base. Nicoract actually is doing really good, man. For how bad this start was, right when I say that, he moved commands his Marines through a bunch of Zealots, but Nicoract is kind of battling. And Jumi is going to have to clean it up a little bit. Because at this point, you don't really want to build a Colossus right against a man with this many Vikings. 9 Vikings is a pretty serious number. Stalker count is 8, so yeah. I still think Jumi is fine, especially because he's getting +3, he's getting +1 army, he's got double robo. But he's gonna have to step it up a tiny bit. RotterdaM is 1980. Exclamation mark B, win Giants back. We're talking about the New York Giants, mate. I don't think they win a lot. It is a tournament. It's a tournament I've been running for 71 Fridays. So it's not exactly nil. We give out $500 to 8 video gamers that get invited by me. Nice triple drop here by Nicoract as he snipes the Forge as well. I'm not liking where this is going for ForJumy, guys. ForJumy had such a good start, and it kind of felt like it should have really been his game. He should have been the one dominating. Now, he can maybe fire a couple nice balls here. One of them found a decent connection. But Nicoract is a 4-base Terran with a planetary. I don't want to say he never had any business being a 4-base Terran, but... we do have a Zealot run by on top of the third, and there is nothing here, so this is a great moment with so many Terran units out and about on the map. Some in the top right side as they are getting stormed. ForJumy walks through his own storm as well. The Protoss units don't really care. We even have an Archon in the mix. Look at that. Couple Zarkas. Nah, that's not a fight that the Archon can win. It's always tempting, guys, when you see a whole bunch of lips clumped up, but no, that's not the fight for the Archons. It was his goal to do that after the show match. I know that they had a goal and they had... is this like the ultimate conclusion of the whole project? Or is this just like a best of 5 to see where we are currently at and what we still need to do better? I haven't followed any of it, but I know that it's happening, and I know Arston and Grubby have been working on it for a while. Ooh, couple big storms landing on this Terran army as the Novas! I mean, there's nowhere to run anymore. The Colossus, however, do get absolutely melted, and Nicoract stands his ground and fights and says, if you want to walk through those circles, that's fine. That means you're right on top of my Marines and Marauders. And he actually takes a really good fight. ForJumy now down 60 supply. A lot of that supply is in Vikings. We have cannons and batteries to buy time. ForJumy is kind of rich. He really needs to make sure that the next storm, that they matter. That's a decent one, but not exactly a game-deciding storm. Oh my goodness, Nicoract is an absolute animal. ForJumy is in trouble, and if ForJumy does not land a very big Nova soon, this could potentially be a 2-0 lead for the Russian Terran. Zealots alone will no longer cut it. The Stalkers cannot cut it. There's too much healing from all these medevacs. Vikings are dying. Some Colossus, ForJumy. Triple Robo. Colossus would be good. This Nexus is down. Obviously, ForJumy is not necessarily dead if he loses a base, loses a couple workers. Finally gets his hands on +3. Stalker count is increasing. As the Liberators are trying to find their way into that natural. Oh my god, that's all the Robos are here. ForJumy cannot give up on that location as the medevacs get feedback. The High Templars try to morph into an Archon. We have another Coco overcharge. Can ForJumy hold? Cannons are useful here, guys. Very, very useful. As most of the medevacs are low on energy, that means that Nicoract is running out of healing. And ForJumy will sort of hold. It's been a very painful hold. It's been an expensive hold. But I kind of want to say that he's holding for now, as ForJumy has a few more disruptors in the natural fires balls. A great game here, guys, on Amphion. Where ForJumy really was in the lead, was on pole position, but he's made life hard on himself. He's gonna have to clean things up. He's lost 8,000 resources, guys. 8,000 resources more. That's pretty shocking for PvT. If we're talking about a TVZ where the Zerg is on 95 drones and the Terrans on 55 SCVs, those numbers are okay. In a PvT where at this point Nicoract is literally mining more. As he's gonna try to go for it one more time with lips and buy units, pops the Archons, snipes the Stalkers. ForJumy's having such a hard time. He's got a couple of extra units, I think, coming in from the left side soon. Looking for that one magical purification Nova, but Nicoract refuses to give it to him. He's done such a good job with his army. Man, this Russian Terran is so damn good in TVP, eh? The guys are just going for it. Takes out the center base as well. And means that ForJumy is now basically down to this base, because the main and the natural, there's not a whole lot left. Natural a little bit. Colossus is imported here with third battery overcharge, but that won't save a Colossus against an entire Terran army. Nicoract is just sending it. The man is maxed out. Oh, ForJumy is going to be kicking himself for this one. But ForJumy had a great start. It is Nicoract who says it doesn't matter how you start, it matters how you finish. It's an impressive win. Very, very impressive. 2-0 lead for the man from the Platinum Heroes. And ForJumy is really going to have to step it up through this one a little bit. Had more potential in some of the Zealot run-bys and he got out of it, but he wouldn't have quite known that. But I think it's especially that phase where the double drop killed the fourth. And he couldn't punish it. The Phoenixes were defending the main. There was no threat to the main. After that, we lost all the Phoenixes in the fight, and that's when Nicoract did drop the main, sniped the Forge, delayed +3. Just a lot of great plays coming out of the man from the Platinum Heroes. And Jumy having a hard time keeping up. He moved Commanded through because he didn't want to stand into the circles. He thought he had the Bio Army pinned to the wall, and it's like, okay, I drop Storms, I fire Novas, and I'm just going to move through the zones, and I'm okay here. But with Marauders, it doesn't really matter if they're 80 HP or 10 HP. If a Protoss army with Stalkers and Colossus is standing right on top of it, couple Medivacs and those Marauders, they can go, and they can battle. And it was obviously a bad fight on the side of Jumy, and a great fight on the side of Nicoract. Very impressed by Nicoract, man. The last 4 TVPs we've seen on this stream. 2 games in a row against Hearthstone, 2-0 lead now over Jumy. The man who beat Battlebee not too long ago. Unfortunately did not make it to the big Gabe Cup that recently took place over in Cologne. I was excited to see some Jumy. Spent 3.5 hours in my car to cast some Starcraft. Literally nothing but Terrans in the top 4. You guys asked me, was that the worst day of your life? No, but it's close. Nah, it was still fun. It was quite fun. I see T2, mate, why are you trying to be so edgy all night? Like, I don't want to ban you for no reason. You're allowed to have, like, different opinions, whatever, but just tone it down a notch, mate. And now you're dragging old stuff up. Let it go. Let it go. Let Naniwa comment on his games here. Isn't it cool that people that played this game over 10 years ago are still here enjoying some StarCraft on the Friday night? Leave the man alone. Keep your bad takes to yourself and leave the boys alone. Or the ladies. Already singing the Frozen song. Let it go. Can you add the AI image generator Artos is using on stream? I found great ways. I have not seen this yet. I'm gonna say no. While being relatively uninformed, I'm gonna say no.
Round 3.
Fight!
Top right side of El Cyany. We are looking at the main base. Russian Terran looking mighty fine here on the Friday night. 1 map away from winning $100. And perhaps, guys, just like it was Mixu's time last week, it is time that this man gets a main event as well. He's played many times in the Big Brain Bouts. I'd say he's better now than he's ever been before. Platinum Heroes in Nicoract. Bottom left side, it is our German Protoss. I think by many, a slight favorite coming into this series tonight. But he's down 0-2. Game 1, sure, that was a disaster. The Hellions killed too much, it was over. But Game 2 should have gone his way. Instead, we're down 0-2. Can we keep it together and turn things around for the Streamer Zone? This is Jumy. Can you guys tell me a little bit more about Streamer Zone, by the way? Because I'm not that... I know they have cool graphics. I see a lot of purple. One of my favorite colors. But what is the Streamer Zone? Where is it from? Are they active in many games? Are they focused on streaming? Or is it more focused on esports? Enlighten this old man a little about the Streamer Zone. Funny you asked, by the way, Alex, because I was just thinking about it. I saw that Timber is making his debut tonight. Or at least his starting debut. Quinton Timber, not Urian. We're playing away. Whew, Germany, by the way, tough match against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Small football nations like Germany often have a very, very difficult time if they have to go to the Balkan countries. Netherlands, however, I think will smoke Hungary. Official prediction, 1-3. How's the Padel going? Padel is, I played today. I haven't played Mega much lately because I'm too addicted to Deadlock. And I really enjoyed playing Padel before, and I still do. But I just enjoy playing Deadlock more than anything else. But I played today for an hour. I did a couple of competitive matches. I was playing ladder with Vicky and with Marta, but Vicky can't play anymore. She's not allowed to because of her injury. So playing a little bit less, but still trying. Whenever they need one, because I have a very flexible schedule, I pretty much always play. So I'm like the local savior of the neighborhood. Whenever 3 people get together and they really want to play Padel and they lack one, I sign up or I'll help them out, but I'm not really the one who gets things going at the moment. It is a team with 700 plus creators according to their website, and apparently in a few games. It's from Germany. Cool. Okay, thank you for the info. I hope that those guys are good to our boys, because I do really like ForJumy. Obviously we love Baby Marine, so I hope it is a successful adventure. Bloody bantering Germany so you can enjoy better quotes. There were moments where I made fun of Germany and I did bet on them, but no, I'm not betting right now, mate. I cannot miss a penny. We spend 133 bucks every Monday to make the Kalaris Setfest and Roddy Cup happen. And that's pretty much my only expense besides food and rent. I am in heavy saving mode, but I'm almost free. And then I'm gonna misbehave like no tomorrow. Whew, Vegas, baby. Straight to Vegas. I've got a free hotel, I've got a free flight, let's do it. All those air miles from all those esports events, we'll put them to good use. Whiskey and hot dogs, all of that, mate. In and out. Fogo de Chao. Some Japanese barbecue, Korean barbecue. Some Five Guys. Full center. Actually, I don't think they have Five Guys, but they have Shake Shack. All of it. When you go to Vegas, I haven't made up my mind yet. Once I'm a free man. I hope December. It'll be awesome. Otherwise, it's gonna have to be next year. And obviously, I need to see what's happening in the world of esports, right? I don't want to book a holiday if there is potentially an event that I have to go to. The Stalkers of Jumy snipe the Reaper. You need to be very cautious here. 6 seconds away from Blink, but he does spot the move out of a Nicoract, who's got 11 Marines, a tank, a Cyclone, and a Banshee. First Banshee is out, a second Banshee on the way, no cloak. And Nicoract, in almost, I'd say, trademark Nicoract fashion, bringing a few SCVs as well. The Stalkers are a little bit out of sync. I think one will die here, but as long as Jumy can just buy time here, he can keep on kiting. I would love if he can find the resources to maybe warp in like an extra gate or two, because Nicoract is very committed here. And I like the idea of just going for Zealots with charge here. Obviously, we don't really have any Zealots yet, but Nicoract doesn't have too many units anymore. A shield battery is kind of mandatory. Jumy is probably a tiny bit worried, like, please don't tell me you've got Cloak, because Cloak would make this very, very annoying, but there is no Cloak. Jeremy has to go for work? Woo! Let me know. I want to go. Vegas with Jeremy. Whoop whoop. Shield battery gets sniped, but Jumy is going to warp in a couple of adepts, a couple of zealots. They may not seem like the best units, but they can tank. They can let the Stalkers live a little bit longer. And obviously as the Terran, you can't ignore them. I love the Immortal as well, as long as it participates in the fight, and it will. And just like that, guys, it's a successful hold for Jumy. And Nicoract is going to tap out. Jumy gets one on the board. At least no back-to-back 3-0s here. And we'll take that. We have 5 guys. When you're here, I'll take you. Really, lads? In Vegas? Where is it? It's like away from the strip, I assume, though, right? Because I feel like I know the strip pretty well. And I know where the in and out is. It's close to the Razor Zone. I actually took a picture of that. I don't know if I can find it right now. Because I had a great joke there. It says there's like a Razor billboard on the tiny, I don't know how they call it. Not the strip. The little parade or whatever. It says, in here the gamer always wins. I remember I took a picture of it and I was like, oh, they haven't seen my boy X yet. I didn't know who I wanted to tease, but I wanted to make fun of someone. Yeah. What? Is he doing your Deadlock channel? Ay caramba. It's gonna be a 3-game channel, mate. By the way, this is Deadlock in Starcraft, baby. Razor is at the link queue, yeah, and that's where the in and out is as well. And there's that little street that they have like renovated a lot and turned into an awesome little place where you can just walk around. There's always people, always something happening. But basically, you walk from the Las Vegas, the main strip, to the little Ferris wheel. The promenade. Is it just called the promenade? Yeah. That's where they have the Razor sign. I want to see if I can find. No, I don't have it on this phone. Damn it. The Link-Q Promenade, yeah. Vegas is awesome. I love Vegas. Thank you to Thil for the 40 months, matey. I appreciate it. Eastern and St. Rose, yeah. If it's far away from the strip, it makes sense. Lots that I don't know where it is. Because most of the time, obviously, I don't have a car to get around. I just walk up and down. It's the only place where I get a lot of steps in every single day. 3 days in Vegas is plenty. Nah. That's not enough, mate. I'm not even warmed up yet in 3 days. I'll take 8. It's like... when I lived in Ranch Cucamonga, I would have agreed with that. Like 3-4 days, totally fine, then I could go home. Because it's just a little 4-hour drive. You can always go again. But if I would fly from the Netherlands to Las Vegas, which I have never done, but if I would do that, then I would never go for less than 8 days. It's just like by the time I'm recovered from the jet lag, my trip is over. New York is very cool too. It would actually be fun to go to New York again one day. Maybe we'll combine it. Road trip from New York to Vegas. Rent a Mustang. Whoop whoop.
Round 4. Fight!
Yeah, hey, you remember that, lots? Because I went there for NESL and I was basically a journalist, a reporter. But I feel like no one on this planet remembers that. But I do remember that. Was it No, what was his name? The American Terran player who quit a long time ago. Sometimes when I think of Vindicta, I think of him, but there was a Terran player before. Illusion. Illusion won. And I think Flo was at that tournament as well, and then a couple of other gamers. And I was just there to make content. That was actually really cool. I drove, didn't get paid for it or anything, but I just thought it would be very fun. And it could create a very cool highlight piece for NESL, so. Yeah, it's a very long time ago, but I'm glad that you remember that event, because I think it's been wiped off the history books, but it was fun. Very cool to have a tiny little Starcraft event in one of the rooms at the Hard Rock. Anyway, game 4, guys. Basilisk Big Brain Bouts, top left side of Side Delta. Pretty clean win in game 3. Perhaps that's all we need. A little War Twilight Council play right at the get-go. It's ForJumy. I think overall, opening up Twilight against these Terrans like this man, that are so good with their Cyclone tank pushes, not the worst idea. Is it scary? Sure. But I actually think opening up Stargate is even scarier, because you know how quickly they can kill you. So perhaps we'll see a little more of that coming out of our German Protoss. Against this man who's still in the lead, 2-1. One map away from winning 100 buckies tonight. It is Platinum Heroes Nicoract. Maybe, guys, Nicoract versus Mixu, main event. It is funny because the community always says like, oh, they want X, Y, Z, and there need to be opportunities for players that are not top tier pros. But I already know that if I would do Nicoract Mixu, that a lot of people would not be too excited. Die-hard fans will, or people that are specifically a fan of Mixu or Nicoract. But it's very hard to appeal to like casual StarCraft fans. Be like, oh yeah, I want to see those guys, even if there is 200 bucks on the line. That is the dilemma that we face. I think it would be a fun one. Jumi, can we deny the Reaper from hopping? Oh my god, he was so close. He was so close of getting one more hit off. Insanely well done by Nicoract there, though, that he actually managed to hop that Reaper into the bunker. Whew. Now this is a little bit annoying. Good news for Jumi is that he didn't go double Adept. It was Adept into Stalker. The bad news is that this is delaying his stack. He's still going to go for a Twilight Council, but it's obviously delayed. Because now we are even building our 3rd gateway unit before we start dropping tech. No, Proto. Little grenade is going to bounce these units away. Once the shield battery is done, you can finally properly take care of this. And Jumi obviously knows at this point it's not that scary anymore. There was no second Reaper. We are not in danger of losing any workers. If we end up losing a probe here, it'd be very annoying though. And he pulled all of them. No, the Adept shades away. This is not clean by Jumi. He might even lose the second work. Oh my god. I'd be tilted. Like, mega tilted. This Reaper was supposed to kill 0. If Jumi just realized that this was only 1 Reaper, 1 bunker, you already have 1 unit here. You don't need 3 units on the low ground, because that Reaper, even if it gets away out here, it doesn't matter. But if it goes into your main, you do want to have a unit here. Losing 2 workers and some mining time, it would tilt me like no tomorrow. And I'm a pretty zen video gamer, guys. Unless I hear, here comes the lash. That's when I panic. But Other than that, I'm pretty zen. But losing workers when you know you're absolutely not supposed to lose any workers would drive me nuts. Mixu Foxer is still my dream BBB. It's not a match that I would make at the moment, mate. That is a... No. Not a match I would make. I think Foxer is very good, but I don't think we should be going for that right now. Not a believer, no. Not a believer right now. The Nicoract loads up not quite 60 Marines, but will make it 13 Marines. Let's say he would cook him. As we have seen today once more, the American players, they do tend to yap a lot. I love my boy Foxer, but last time I checked, he got cooked by a Dutch Protoss. And that Dutch Protoss wouldn't think twice about challenging Mixer right now, so... Nah, just venting. But no, that's not something we'd be making. Jumy has gone for 4 gases. And now it's very, very important we don't lose that pylon, don't do anything silly with our Stalkers. Obviously, Nicoract's build would have been pretty sweet if Jumy was out of position, or if Jumy would have gone up to 3 bases very quickly. And Jumy has not done anything of that. Nicoract picks up in range of the Stalkers. The Stalkers blink forward, and they get one of the medevacs. That's big. Besides losing the 2 probes, Jumy is looking really good here. And he has gone for the hidden base in the bottom left. Maybe he just feels that Nicoract is always going to be a very aggressive Terran once more, and he's going to try to attack him very quickly at the other side of the map. And to make his life a little bit easier, he's going to try to force Nicoract to attack up this ramp into a battery. Where obviously Jumy has all the time in the world to get ready for it. But then also still have that luxury of a 3rd Nexus. Maybe the potential to recall some workers. I think this is too early to go for a massive recall. Because if it then randomly gets scouted by a single drop, you're going to be in so much pain. So if I was Jumy, I would go maybe for a recall, but make it a tiny one. Like 6 to 8 workers, something among those lines. That's personally what I would go for. No more than that. Let's see if he agrees. No, that's more. 10, 11, something among those lines. And Nicoract is building a 3rd command center in his main as he goes for another double drop over here. Jumy probe will barely miss it. Dark Shrine coming online as well, halfway done at this point for our German Protoss, who's still trailing 1-2 in this best of 5, but he's looking pretty good here in game 4. Oh, but he just recalled the probes, guys, and because he recalled all the probes, he cannot recall the Stalkers. I think he's got some units. Colossus can obviously make their way over. Not a total disaster, but could have been really bad. Losing this pylon would be mega annoying, by the way. It's powering 2 gates. We're going to power 2 more. We cannot recall, so we need to move our Stalkers and Zealots immediately. The Dark Shrine is going to get scouted. Thank the Lord for Colossus with extended thermal lens. And the first medevac actually falls. That means that this works out well for Jumy. Jumy did lose a couple of the Stalkers in the center of the map. Wasn't quite paying attention to them. As he is swapping in his first 2 DTs, Nicoract immediately building turrets. Up on, dropping on top of that Dark Shrine basically. Now Jumy wipes in the 3rd Nexus. Nicoract is obviously going to be very confused, but will immediately scout for hidden bases. Once he sees that this Nexus is nowhere near done yet. Now he didn't get to see that. So at this point he will know. DT runs into the natural, swipes a couple of SCVs. Will get scanned, revealed and picked off. Wow. Sick placement on that observer.
Complete.
Second starport is finishing up for our friend Nicoract, who I would say was in a worse spot on Amphion, and he still managed to win that one. Let's see what he can cook up here on side Delta. I obviously do favor ForJumy a little bit. There's bigger pickups all around by Jumy. He's got the Colossus out, but it's a pretty damn close game. It's in a weird way, guys. It was very, very fortunate for Jumy that Nicoract did not go deep enough to see that Nexus. Jumy defended over here like there was obviously a Nexus, but because Nicoract did not go deep enough to actually see it, and he can obviously see that there is no base here, his alarm bells are not going off, and he's not checking yet for hidden bases. It's probably very confusing for our Terran player here that there is no Nexus, no pylons, nothing. It's like, well, Zealot right now running into this middle line on the triangle base of Nicoract, who is going to split off one Marine. And at this point he is checking. It's like, you got to be going up to 4 bases. There's like no way you're still a 3-base Protoss. Thinking of sending that Marine in, is not quite going to do it. Now a Zealot is going to get on top of the Marine. And these are kind of signs that, hey, the Protoss has something to hide. Otherwise, you wouldn't be worried about a random Marine standing there. And I didn't even get to see how you saw it. So there is a little army going for the bottom left side. And Nicoract, perhaps to his dislike, is going to find a random Nexus. Will pick up 6 workers immediately. That's good. He's actually going to pick off the entire base. Maybe Jumy felt that it'd just be a little bit too uncomfortable to have the base here forever. Now Jumy snipes the medevacs immediately. That's big, because that means that these bio units can no longer get out through the sky. There's a war prism that's going to sneak into the main base as well. There is a Viking. There is a tank. Still though, a few of the Zealots will make it in. Yeah, the Viking count is damn high. I'd be very, very cautious here if I was a German Protoss with the Colossus. To his dismay, let's go with that. Didn't quite sure, mate, where I wanted to go with that, but it worked out for Nicoract in the end. And what pro players will also do, in the moment they see a base like that, is that they can obviously take a little look at the mineral patches, they can click on them quickly, and that gives them a very good idea of like how long has that base been up and running, how rich is my opponent, am I in trouble or am I okay? All of that does matter. These guys are obviously both very good at what they do. Gotta have a sensor tower at the 4th. We already have one at the 3rd. Nicoract pretty well set up to deal with Zealot run bys here, as he's got a Widow Mine, he's got a bunker. Jumy double Forges, double Robo. 4-base Protoss trying to become a 5-base Protoss. Oh my goodness, seems like we missed a monstrous ball over here as a lot of dead bodies hit the floor. So Jumy couldn't really connect with a single Nova on Amphion in forever. Seems like the first one here was a sweet. The ghost going down. And besides that, a lot of Marines and Marauders. Nicoract supply just plummeting after that little exchange. Take a look at one of the disruptors and we can see how many kills it has. I don't know if it got picked off. 13! Yeah, that's good. That is good. On the side of the man who was trailing 0-2. But we came into this best of 5 with the idea that was very close. I thought it was very hard to make a prediction. Turns out it is close. We just took a different way of getting there. Now, Jumy does obviously still need to be very cautious, guys, because if Nicoract maxes out and he gets the lips and he has a bare minimum 2-2 and a couple ghosts, I really rate the Russian Terran play. Now, the ghost count is very low. He's damn good in taking some of these fights in late game TVP. I've been on the receiving end of it, where I had my dream army with Immortals, Colossus, Stalkers, Zealots, and I just get absolutely obliterated. Kill 25 supply, lose 80, you know, that kind of stuff. So currently the ghost gun is only 1, but Nicoract comes in from different angles, snipes a couple of these disruptors, and he's just going for the cuckoo approach by the looks of it. A little bit of splitting. The final disruptor is the best one we've seen so far. Jumy will get out. No, maybe with a few more EMPs. Nicoract could have absolutely pulled the trigger there and just go for it. There are these tiny moments where as a Terran player, you can make that call. Where you're no longer splitting, where you're no longer disengaging, where you just absolutely fully send it because you've got the DPS to gun them down before any of those Novas go off. Nicoract did not feel that he had that DPS here. He was forced to split a little bit. Eventually it went wrong. Jumy needs to be very careful here. This is an underwhelming army if you ask me. 14 Zealots, 11 Stalkers, 7 Disruptors. At this point he's basically just looking for a big Nova or trying to distract the Terran while a War Prism sneaks into the back of the main. Obviously great movement here on the side of Jumy. And it's so annoying as a Terran to have to deal with this, while you also have to worry about Novas flying towards your main army. Nicoract does have a lot of armies to fly in. The Liberators are going to help, making his life a little bit easier. The choke points inside of the Terran main help out too. And he handled that well. Jumy is going to blink, snipe 2 of these Liberators that are trying to keep this planetary safe. Disrupt to show up as well. The Novas in the end will set up for the Sensor Tower. It's always a solid kill. Taking out the Sensor Tower should give you a little more playability around that spot of the map. And perhaps you can catch your opponent off guard. Going for the medevac upgrade. Look at that. Always a big fan of Protoss players that kill Sensor Towers. Honestly, any race. Even in TVT. Big fan of the person that's killing the Sensor Tower. But soon, hopefully, guys. I've seen a lot of people discuss the Sensor Tower, bad game design, it's a little bit too much, it's too big, as Jumy needs to be careful here. Perhaps they'll start addressing that Sensor Tower after all these years of me talking about it. Wouldn't that be something? Marines and Marauders are going to get on top of the 6th base of Jumy. So Nicoract already taking out that base early in the bottom left. Now also takes out this one at the 8 o'clock spot. And Jumy has bases for days, so it's not too bad. I do kind of start wondering though, when does Jumy like force it? Or do we transition? Do we get some Stargates, +1 air weapons, a fleet backing? Or do we believe that this is the army that we're just going to do it with? Triple Robo, 14 gates. If we're going to stick with this comp forever, which it's not necessarily bad or anything, it's definitely not wrong. I'd like more gateways. 14 is good, but I prefer 18 or 20. Disrupt the count is indeed at 9. There are 4 High Templars. I love the Colossus here in the mix to make this Zealot Stalker run by a whole lot stronger. This War Prism will get sniped by the Vikings. As the Liberators keep this location safe here in the center. Very cool play though by Jumy to split up his army like this. It's always scary, but it just makes sense. And that is a way to potentially crack the doors wide open here at the 3rd for future Zealots to run on top of all the SCVs. I don't know, Joko, but I do know that it's coming. The changes, they sound really good to me. Some of them sound really fun. Nice Storm, by the way. Obviously, losing your High Templar sucks, but softening up all these lips, killing one of them is good. And we can kill that Sensor Tower one more time. Disruptors do go a little bit far forward. Maybe Jumy realized it late, and that's why he just fired all those Panic Novas at once. Sniped this Sensor Tower too with the Stalkers. Jumy is kind of running circles around the guy who has the circles. Now, how does that work out exactly? I don't know. But this High Templar did not quite have the same impact as the previous one. Also, overall, you guys can see the trade's much better right than on Amphion. Jumy lost like 8,000 more. Pushing it a little bit. Blinks forward, guns down the lip, gets on top of the planetary, kills the Sensor Tower, fires a couple Novas. The explosions are good. How good will they continue to be? There. Okay, it really wants the PF, but the repair is so good. You can make it up. The repair is incredibly good, but Jumy does still have an army here. Does still have a little army roaming this bottom left side area. And it can always come back for round 2. But Nicoract saves the PF, and with that perhaps saves the tiny chance he has in this game. He's been, by the way, hard stuck on 2-2 for a long time. And I know he's not been as rich as Jumy. He really wants to get this one then at least, and he will get that one. At the same time, he's like, how much HP does the one at 3 o'clock have? Well, it's 4 HP. Back to full HP. It's actually Nicoract has now taken a tiny supply lead. Jumy is rich. 7 base Protoss. 6. 7 bases, triple robo, 14 gateways. Yeah, this series has really heated up. Bit of a slow start. Oh, the Novas are good for the second time in this game. Jumi finds a picture-perfect Nova. And now he kind of forgets about his Disruptors, though. He forgets about all of them at once. A classic Protoss move. Where we started this fight off with such a good Purification Nova. Jumi forgets about all of them, but he does land a sweet Storm. Don't forget, our Protoss is rich. Good job there by Nicoract gunning on the Battle Rate Overcharge. Yeah, this is actually a proper bonkers game at this point. Jumi loses his latest acquired base, the 7th. And he still has some activity with Zealots and Stalkers at the bottom. Picks off SCV's Warp Prism was right on top of the missile turret, but still gets a little warping going. Do we have some splash damage, Jumi? I mean, this Marauder army is solo. I think with the triple robo guys, Stalkers, Zealots, reinforcements for days, I don't see Jumi mess this one up. Is Nicoract paying attention? He's got such a good army. Jumi's got such a good army and he is rich. Nicoract took a good fight there. Had his moments in this game. I think in the end, our German Protoss, too rich, too big, too powerful. Perhaps a sign of things to come. Big, powerful Germans with Gabriel in the main event. Meine Fresse, das geht doch nicht. Jumi ties things up. 2-2, guys. For the first time tonight, we go to the rubber match. Fun series. Fun series between these two. Thought it was going to be very close. After 2 games, I was a little like, maybe it's not. But this is, I think, what a lot of the diehards were expecting of these two. I don't know what you guys settled for in the end with the predictions, but I just think that they're very, very, very evenly matched. And that is a compliment to Nicoract, because I would say a while ago, Jumi was on a higher level. Nicoract has just made some great progress in his TVP. That's the hero, looks brilliant. Yeah, that was a bit of a hero moment. But to be fair, even Showtime, the man who's got the most complicated Protoss setup on the planet, has had those moments, right, a few times, where he forgot about his Disruptors and Clem jumps upon them. Netherlands against Hungary, starting. Whoop whoop. What's our line? I want to take a little look at this lineup. Zierik C, Gakpo, Reinders, Simons, Timber, Gravenberg. I like this lineup. The only thing I'm still not certain of is our goalkeeper. And I also think that Stefan de Vrij, his best years are behind him. Even though I've always liked him in the past. But I'm a bit of a De Ligt fan, even though he makes a lot of mistakes. And I know he hasn't played particularly amazing for a proper stretch for many years now. I still think that you should focus on De Ligt, Van de Ven. And I miss Frimpong. I don't know if he's available. But I think we need De Ligt, Van de Ven, Frimpong, and Maatsen. That'd be sick. I think twice we wait Homestead. I'm always at Homestead Cup, man. Even the days where, let's say there is a world where I'm done commentating StarCraft, where I am done with esports overall. If I somehow have a different job, I would still come to Homestead Cups. As long as I am able to, I would always go. There's too many friends there, too many lovely faces, too good of a time. I will always try to make my way over to a Homestead Cup. And I'll definitely be going to the upcoming one. De Ligt, no, I still believe here. I know Ajax passed and everything, but I refuse to believe that a guy that was so freaking good 5 years ago just got worse over time and is incapable. Like, I think he just needs some confidence. He just needs some rhythm. He's just made some poor decisions, wrong clubs, and hasn't played enough games. But De Ligt is actually good. There's no way that he peaked when he was 18 and he only got worse. Te veel aangekomen in spiermassa? Nah. Well, then we lose some of that, mate. I still think that he can be great. I don't know. But obviously, I think Frimpong and Van de Ven should always play. Because those two are not just great, they're amazing. Anyway, final round. Great best of 5.
Final round. Fight!
Yeah, he's playing for Man United right now. Top right side of Post the Youth. We are looking at the main base of the man who is representing his new team for the first time on this stream. It is Star Zone ForJumy. Streamer Zone, sorry, not Star Zone. He is a star in my eyes though. The Streamer Zone. Bottom left side, we are looking at the main base of the Russian Terran who came out guns blazing, slowed down a little in game 3 and game 4. But obviously he still has potential to win this one and walk away with 100 buckies in the co-main event of the 71st edition already of the Big Brain Bouts. You guys claimed my Monday nights a long time ago. At this point, Friday night is incredibly consistent too. This is Platinum Heroes in Nicoract. I don't think you can compare De Ligt and Congolo, mate. I don't know what Congolo ever did that was great, but De Ligt like carried his team to the semi-finals of the Champions League. And they were so close to the finals. I don't think you can quite say that Congolo and De Ligt have a whole lot in common. I know he made mistakes. I know a lot of the goals were his fault, but I'm still a believer. I just don't think like you get anywhere with Stefan de Vrij. Yep, De Ligt was with Bayern. From Ajax he went to Juventus, where he was on the bench for a bit, eventually became a starter, but never undisputed. Then he went to Bayern, sometimes a starter, sometimes bench. Now he went to United. I think he's already on the bench too. I don't know. I'm still a believer. Like I just don't really believe in Stefan de Vrij. Even if he scores the random goal from time to time. Anyways, guys, we're gonna beat Hungary. It's all good. Nicoract has a 1-1-1 opening. Throws down a scan. Wants to make sure that Jumy is doing stuff that he is supposed to do. Apparently did not want a SCV scout or anything. He just threw down the scan. Jumy has a very interesting placement on this battery. I'm not the biggest fan. I feel like even if you want to heal up this area, why can't you build it here? So you still have the ramp that you can work with. I'm not a fan. But okay. Send out a probe trying to go up to 3 bases by taking the gold. That I am a fan of, as you guys know. Not many people on this planet have taken more gold bases on random locations than me. Now this one is not too random, it's pretty standard. The blink is almost done, but not quite, and that shield battery of the main is obviously not really helping out here. 4 Marines and a Cyclone. It's just a little too much to deal with. Oh, Jumy. As he's obviously busy battling these Marines and the Cyclones too. Needs to send more units over. Will send them. Blink down in 1 second. Can blink forward now. Could have maybe killed that medevac. Okay, Nicoract was thinking about giving it to him. Bit of a weird fight. Maybe not all that bad for Jumy in the end, because he did defend properly here. I don't think Nicoract should have ever tried to go up that ramp. I think that's a bit much. We blink and we misclick, but we still get a lot of shots off on the lip. Maybe one more blink here for Jumy. Gets the kill. Gets it. Steph Curry, is that you? That's a big pickoff. Obviously a serious investment on the side of Nicoract, and he doesn't get anything out of his Liberator. What champ should I start off with? Deadlock? That depends how much you've seen and how much you know. There are definitely a couple easy heroes to play. I'll get back to you later. As much as I love playing and talking Deadlock. Game 5, Pulse Youth, 3rd series of the night. There's a time and a place for it. 1st series of the night, couple minutes in with this macro, and it's all good. But too much action right now between Jumy and Nicoract to figure out who is going to win the co-main event. Jumy has 4 more gates on the way, so 7 gateways, Blink Stalkers and Zealots. Nicoract is bleeding out a lot of Marines, but if these tanks do siege up in range of the Nexus, it get a little bit dicey. Bylan is going to cancel the warp in, will cancel the warp in. You do get the money back as a Protoss player, but it's still annoying, because it obviously means your gateways are on cooldown longer. Jumy needs to be very, very cautious here. This Blink Stalker is alone without any Zealot charge. I like it, he's sacking this base. That's actually a good decision, but it's also a painful one. Now he's like, you know what, wait a minute, Zealot charge is almost done. I've got a couple Zealots. Is he gonna blink forward, guys? How are we gonna handle this fight? Nicoract's got the vision. Jumy does not have the vision. And he is too afraid to pull the trigger there. With like 2 more Zealots, he could have aim-moved that army. Because obviously Nicoract kept a lot of units at home. And that all goes back to that initial warp-in, right? If that pylon doesn't get sniped with the 3 Zealots and that warp-in doesn't get reset, Jumy would have already had those units. Then he gets a few more, and I think he takes a better fight. And he actually saves the Nexus and maybe kills a couple of these tanks. Now Jimmy is just in trouble. When you're playing a low-tech style, you are not able to really take any losing fights. Nicoract is going to bring a couple of SCVs as well, as he feels he's got Jimmy on the ropes. The man who took the 2-0 lead, had to work hard for it, is one good fight away from walking away with 100 buckies and winning. Once more in the Big Brain Bouts. Definitely not his first time. As he gets the pylon, gets the battery. That's a slow warp in all the pylons here. Jimmy can't give up on this base, but he also can't fight the army. Pick your poison. It is a lose-lose. We take the fight, we lose the base, we also lose. Jimmy is going to try to save the base one way or the other, but it is not good enough. GG. It is, in the end, the man who defeated Hearthstone last Monday, who does get the dub here tonight. 3-2 over the German Protoss ForJumy. Yeah, I think it's time for a main event for Nicoract. Since a lot of the absolute top tier pros, they don't want to play right now. Obviously we can have Max Pax and Clem, but you guys already see them in every other event. Lambo not interested, Elaza not interested, Rainer not interested, with Zerk at least. I think we should give Nicoract a shot. I don't know against who yet, but we'll come up with something nice. 3-2 in favor of the Russian. He gets the 100 buckies. Jimmy will still get 25, and I hope he had fun. Means we're going to take a very tiny break, guys, and then we're back with another TVP, but obviously a very high level one. Oh, the underdog. The underdog in Nicoract gets the job done. Well, who will you guys vote for here? Will it be Big Gabriel himself? Or do you guys believe in Australia, the American Protoss that won the Never Skip a Monday, last Monday? The Monday night equivalent of the American Weekly, now ran by Stago. At least for 1 week, and potentially more. If you guys are nice to Stago, you show him love and passion. Hero Marine, obviously still representing Mouse. Australia, is he still teamless, guys? A serious prediction about the entire match? I think, this stuff. Give me a couple minutes to think about it, mate. I'll think about it for a little bit, and then I'll let you know. Is there a nomination process for BBB? Nope. I just invite you. Obviously, it is important to me that you're nice, that you have got a good standing in the community. Being a tiny bit of a yapper is not too bad, but obviously there is a line that we draw, and a line that people cannot cross. And besides that, I just want to see some activity. I'm not going to invite people that never play in any event. That's just silly, I feel like, or do anything. Is there a line? There absolutely is a line. It's a very, very obvious one. I can guarantee you that nobody that I invite crosses that line. And where is that line? I'll keep that between me and Basilisk. But yeah, that's what matters to me. I was going to take a look if Australia had a team. Wikipedia, Australia. Nico versus Young Jacob. I've asked Young Jacob a couple times already, mate, that he doesn't want to, well, he kind of wants to play, but then he doesn't want to play because he doesn't feel good, he doesn't feel confident. But I'm a big Young Jacob fan, just like I'm a Nikic fan, and I keep on asking these guys. And Nikic is pretty much always down, but Young Jacob, unfortunately, is not. Australia currently has no team, right, guys? I'm just making sure. I think, yeah. Or is he still with Virtuous Pro? Actually, there's no reason to assume that he's not. And lately my Chrome is, I think it's the ads that make my Chrome crash. They almost forced me to get ad blocker, but I don't want to live that life. Is he still with, he's no longer with Virtuous? He's teamless? Okay, let's go teamless then. Australia, the American Protoss. Thank you so much, Stu Basilisk, for the 10 gifted subbies. Best of 5, a main event. Winner gets 150 bucks, the loser gets a 50. This is our prediction, guys. Best of 5. I'll make it a 15-minute prediction because it is the main event after all. Here we go. Start the prediction. Let's ascend it. Any famous or familiar faces in there? Not quite. Well, CHZ sandwich, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'll take a couple minutes, guys, for myself. After that, we'll be back with Big Gabriel versus Australia. I'll see you guys soon.